Howdy folks, this is Justro at Metcalf Mills bringing you Fun Fact Friday, because this day and time, facts are hard to come by and getting harder all the time. I got a good fun fact for you today, but first we're going to go down here and take a little walk through the garden and see how everything's doing. You can stick with me and we'll get to that fun fact. Cucumbers is played out. They've been done for a little while. Seemed like after they got so much age on them, they didn't taste as good, so I just quit gathering them. You can see I need to clean this up and get something else done here. Now these maters right here, you can see they got an old morning glory vine growing on them. Let's see here. Go down here under the bottom, figure out where that thing's sprouted up from. I don't see it on this side. Must be on the other side. Let's see here. Don't see it on this side either. I guess we'll just have to run it down. Let's see. It's growed around that. Around there. Well, I guess that was it. Yeah, that was it. A little bitty spindly vine there. Break that thing off so it'll die. Get off of our mater. You can see these maters out here's a morning glory. It's a blooming. Look here. Yeah, they're pretty, but I can't stand them growing on my... They wind around and get on you. Get on things and try to choke them back. I just pull them up at the ground where they're coming out. Break them off, pull them up. See, this one right here is right next to the base of my mater plant. So I'll pull that out by the roots. Make sure it ain't touching the ground. And I won't try to tear it loose from this mater. I'll just let it die. It's done growing now, but you can see here how good our maters are still doing. I mean, I reckon the weather has been, we've had good rain and it's been cool. And I reckon it just made everything just do extra good because it hadn't got so dogged hot and burn everything up. So I reckon that's why everything's doing so good. Now you can see these maters right here, they've been bit on by one of them big backer worms, big old hornworms. I was looking here for him. I don't see him. Them son of a guns are hard to see. If the damage persists, I'll come out here and find him. But we just got plenty of beautiful maters, and we got plenty coming on. I mean, they're just doing extra good. That mater looks like a problem we've had this year. Cornworms come up. Yep, right there's a hole, see? They go in there and they eat, and the mater just falls off the stem. And they was hard on us for a little while, and I started coming down here every day 2 or 3 times and going through and finding them and killing them. And since then they've really backed off of our maters, but man, they're looking good. Look here what we got coming on. Look at that. I mean, they're just slap dab putting on. We got more maters and we got plants to grow them on, it looks like. Now right through here, you see this little section right here where the maters are spindly looking? That's because of this shrub right here shading the sun out of the morning first thing. See, it can't get no good sunshine right here. I'm gonna cut that thing back, cut it down, dig it out or something, so it don't do that. I should have done it before now, but I didn't. These mole beans, I stomped them down because they was shading our garden. And I didn't mention to you people that bought seed from me on these mole beans last year, they will shade your garden. You have to put them in the right spot so that they don't cast a shade on what you're trying to grow. But I stomped these down, just bent them over and stomped them down, and they're still growing. And I think they'll still make seeds laying flat on the ground. So if they do that, then they'll come up volunteer and you can move them next year when they're little. Or you can get the seeds off of them when they dry up this fall. Got several different kinds of maters here. There's another one that cornworms got in and ruined. But they're just, gosh, they're doing so good. I'm tickled to death. It's the best mater crop that we've had, and I don't remember when. These plants is just loaded down. And out these plants right here, I bought these plants. They was big plants, way bigger, 2 or 3 times bigger than the other ones. If you remember when I set them out, I thought we might get some early maters off them. Nope. I don't know if it was a spot here or what, but we've yet to get a mater off of them. They're coming on, but it just took a while. And right here is Charlotte's chocolate cherries. Boy, she absolutely loves them. They've been slow to get ripe, and a lot of these here's canning maters. We're getting ready to start canning mater juice and mater soup and just canning plain old maters. Maybe some big pinks right here. I got a full row of big pinks down below here because they're one of my favorites. I love them. These is Cherokee purples out through here. And they're probably my favorite, one of my favorite eating tomatoes because they got the best taste. Man, they're sweet and they are so good. They like stay a little green around the top, but you pull them things off and they'll be just, lay them up a day or two, and man, they get good. Man, you talk about something good. I mean, we got some big ones on here. Big ones coming on. Like I said, it's been cool of a night, and it's been good and hot of the day here for the last few weeks, but it ain't been so hot that it really made it hard on everything and damaged our plants. It ain't just burn them up, in other words. It ain't just burn them up, but we've got the best mater harvest, by golly, I can remember. Look out through yonder at them. And like I said, that's them Cherokee purples. That's one of our favorite eating tomato. We'll go out here and start on this end, on this next row, because we still got more maters out here. I think these is a mountain. I want to say Mountain Pride. There's another morning glory vine. Trace it down. I tore that off yesterday, so it'll be dying here pretty quick. I think these is the Mountain Pride. They're like a good cannon mater. Look how pretty. Down here. Yeah. Seems like them worms hit us pretty hard to start with. And then I hit them hard, and hopefully I got the last laugh. We'll see. Right here's our sweet bananas. I just picked them, I guess, yesterday, and they're putting on good. We've been getting plenty of pepper off of them. There was some big ones on here. Like I said, I just picked them yesterday, but they're putting on good. Right here's some of them mole beans. I just bent them over and stomped them down so they wouldn't shade the rest of the garden out. And I think they're gonna make all right. It's funny, some of these peppers, you see these right here, some of them are big old bushy plants, and then these out here are more spindly. I guess it's just difference in the soil. There's some difference there that got different. The sun was different on them or something, or they might have been even different when they something happened different when they was little plants, I don't know. But right here's our bell peppers. We've been getting them off and eating them. They ain't put on super heavy, but we've been nearly getting enough to satisfy our bell pepper tooth. See, here's a big one right here. It's ready to go. I might as well get him right now. Oh yeah, look at there. Eat that baby here in a little while. And then from here on out, it's our hot bananas. Now look at them, how pretty. Right here, look at there. The hot bananas probably doing better than any of them because they're really putting the pepper on. And then right here, there's them dad Jim worms. I dug around looking for him here earlier. There was all kinds of worm, them big old, that worm poop that I showed you when we was hunting them tomato hornworms and big old backer worms. I don't see much of it now, I've covered it up, but there was a bunch of it here, and this is just one night. This is what that thing done to our pepper plant in one night, and I can't find him to kill him. But anyway. And something else I was gonna show you before I forget it. Over here, it got a little weedy in here, and I had to get in here the other day and clean the weeds out, but the maters started trying to blight a little bit right through here. And I cleaned the weeds out and give them a lot of airflow. And I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna trim off the bottoms of these, all the ones that's got blight on them. I'm gonna trim them off and see if that won't help them. But one of the main things that help them is keeps the weeds off of them, which I can't say too much about that because you can see how many weeds we got at the bottom row, the row here. Keep them weeds out so they can get plenty of good airflow. That helps them about good as anything about blight, I guess you could say. It does mine anyway. I can speak for myself. Can't speak for you. Out here we got them little cayenne peppers, and they're doing good. Boy, I like them for different things. I usually dry a bunch of them, but they're doing pretty good. They're coming on pretty good. This little old plant out here at the end, it's got a pretty good bit on it. Moved down here, we had some onions. I had some onion sets. It was real late. I put them out there already going to seed. They may make some seed, I don't know. Our purple cabbage is about ready to gather. I went minimal on spraying, as you can see. They got a little damage on the outside leaves. Same on our stonehead cabbage. Some of them's little and some of them's getting big, but like I said, I've went minimum on the spray on these. I think a deer come in here and bit that one off right there through the middle, but yeah, right here. A deer or groundhog one's run with that head, nearly eat the whole thing up. This deal, it didn't make it in time for pickles, but I'm gonna dry this stuff and have it for my pickles next year. And they've got so big, they just flopped over here. I ain't staked them up or nothing. They just flopped over. And I put them between our cabbage. Might not have been a good idea because I guess it shaded our cabbage some. But they still made good. Not huge, but they made pretty good. And over here is the yaller squash that I didn't gather. I could probably still get them to make a squash pie out of. Collards, bugs got them pretty bad when it got hot. More deal. I could still get some off of these collards. Fix me and the girls another mess of them for supper. Now here's the big pink tomatoes. Now this right here is really one of my favorite eating tomatoes. The seeds that I have, the big pink. Now right there is where one of them worms that went in that one. See that hole right there? And over here, they just go in there and eat and just ruin the tomato. That, and I may take it home and try to get some out of it. Cut out what that sucker messed up. And there's no good, throw it away. But like I say, these big pinks, they are some of my favorite eating tomatoes out of any of them. They are so good when they get good and ripe. And they started trying to blight a little from the bottom because they didn't have enough air getting to them. There's one big one I seen from up yonder that I wanted to show you. Zucchini here, they didn't They put off enough, but not like they usually do. But enough's enough. That's why I like to plant a little bit extra, so that if stuff don't do good, then you're still kind of covered. There's some of them big pinks. Look how big these things get right here. There's a dandy one. Look how big that thing is. I mean, look. Look how big. It's monstrous. There's some of them getting ripe. What hurts your feelings is when you see them. And you'll see a big mater and you'll have your eye on it, and you go down there and that worm's done beat you to it and messed it up. Boy, that hurts your feelings. The beans they're about done. There's still some on here that could be picked. They're about to get most of them's getting too big, but I could still go. I'll probably go over this in the next day or two and pick some of the ones that ain't just too big. Me and the girls may pick some of these big ones and shell them out. We like them shellies awful well. But what we didn't pick off of these, the ones that's got too big, like this one right here, and these here that's, you know, they turn white when they get so big, like down here, right there. Them we'll just pick and we'll hull them out for seed. And this bottom row was strictly for seed. I growed it just for seed, and we didn't pick none off of it. We let them grow, and we'll pick them all for seed when they dry out enough. Down here's our Silver Queen corn, one row for eating and one row for seed. First mess we had last night, I come down here and pulled some, and it was just right. Man, it was good eating. Old Bear out there, he's smelling around, seeing what he can find. Did you find it, Bear? What is it, Bear? What kind of varmint's been in here? What is it? Just go get it, boy. Just go get it. He ain't gonna get in too big a hurry, but maybe if he runs into it, he will. Now over here, our little terrace mater patch. This thing, I'm telling you what's the truth, they are doing real good. It got kind of weedy the other day. Now, there wasn't nothing here but just an old hillside that was growed up in weeds. Well, grass, fescue, growed up chest high. And I cleared it off and cut these 2 terraces in here and set these mater plants. If you remember, I done that when our other mater plants that you just looked at, I thought we was gonna lose all them, so I done this just so we would have something to eat, something to harvest. But you can see here, let me back up. They're doing good as them over there in the main garden is. They're growing and just loaded down. Just loaded down. Right here, a worm's been eating on this plant. To get in here and do a little worm hunting. They're hard to see. You just have to sit and focus on it to find them things. They're so hard to see. They blend right in. But these plants, they're so big, they flop out. Look in there. Look in there, tomatoes. They're still a little damp from the dew last night. They're so heavy loaded that they won't even hardly stand up. Look in there. Look in there. They're so heavy loaded they won't even hardly stand up. Look at there. Tell you, it's a blessing. Our garden has been so blessed this year. So blessed. And they're starting to get ripe. Starting to get ripe. I think we had wound up with maybe 60 extra plants out here, I think. This is some Romas right here. You can see how they're shaped. My little old little mountain weave on these, hardly enough to hold them up. You can see how they flopped over, but look how loaded they are. Now you think about when all them there gets big, how heavy it's gonna be. I'm gonna have to come in here and do some, I'm gonna have to refix it, or they gonna flop. Now right there's some Romas. See how they're shaped, that bell on the bottom? More Romas, I mean the same ones. Them right there looks like maybe Cherokee purples right here. Don't worry too much about keeping them all separated because they're, look at there. Now these may not be, no, I don't think, no, these ain't Cherokee purples here. But look, look at there. I think I made a video on when that's big pinks. This is big pinks. I'm pretty sure I made a video fixing this bed with these miters here. I'm pretty sure I did. Just take a look in there. Just take a look. Just take a look. I didn't do nothing special. I just fixed my heels like I always do with manure and lime and this new terraced ground over here. Here's Charlotte's favorite. This is a little Tommy Toes. She's gonna have her work cut out for her when all these gets ripe. Look at that. Look at down there. And right here's one. Trying to be easy, not hurt the vine. Hard to do one-handed. There we go. It's got a couple little spots there where something's tried to eat on it, but look at that thing. Ain't that beautiful? Ain't that beautiful? Take that up to the house and lay it up for a day or two. Let it finish ripening. I don't think them there will rot because it looks like they've healed up pretty good. And you know what makes things heal up like that? Sometimes they'll heal up when a bug eats on them and sometimes they won't. You might get a bonus fun fact on today's Friday. Fun fact Friday. The reason some things heals up like that and others don't is because it's the time of the moon. The time of the moon when you damage something, that determines if it's going to heal up or not. And we're going to talk more about that later. And I've got it's kind of a surprise coming up for you. I got to go back over and visit Jancer. If you've seen that video, Old Mountain Man and his grist mill in Appalachia. Well, I got to go back and visit with him the other day for a little while, and I'd been wanting to for a long time. I was talking to Virginia on the way over. I couldn't believe how long it had been since I'd got to go see him. But I went over there. I wanted to see him most of all, but I wanted to document a little bit too, and I got to talk to him about the signs of the moon and planting and a lot of different things he discussed, and I'm going to share that with you hopefully in the next day or two. Hopefully this weekend you'll get to see that visit and hear all the things he shared with me about planting by the signs, working by the signs, all that. So that'll be something good coming up for you. But that's why things heal up and why they don't. It's the time of the moon. It's the time of the moon that it happens. That determines how it's going to end. Now we'll get on to our Fun Fact Friday. Right here is a bunch of mustard. You know how I am about mustard greens. I always, if there's a bunch around, I don't weed eat them, I don't mow them, I mow around them. I take care of that plant. This little old bunch right here, we picked some greens off of it and eat them early on. And looky here what this little old one plant of mustard's done. Look at all these seeds. Look at there. That's all little bean pods, little tiny seed pods of that mustard. And there'll be, I don't know, 8 or 10 little mustard seeds in one of these little pods. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 or 8 seeds in each one. Sometimes there'll be more than that. But that's your mustard seeds. You don't have to buy them if you take care of them and let them go to seed like this. And I'm gonna take you out here and show you another bunch, and then some up here in the yard that I mowed around all summer. Show you what a crop of seed we've got off of these mustard greens. Right here's a bunch that I let grow up. They're still blooming. And you can see, look at all the seeds. I'll let these go till they get like this right here. They'll get just as dry as can be. See there? I'll show you some more up here in the yard. And right here some, just look over the yard. We've been canning and I ain't mowed it this week, but you can right here some, it's good and dry. You can see. I'll show you right here. See in my hand? See them mustard seeds right there? See the mustard seeds? It's so easy. I remember Mother. Now what I'll do is I'll throw these mustard seeds down here. And next year, you know what we're gonna have? We're gonna have mustard greens again, growing right here in the yard. This is some little flowers here, and I mowed around them and it got weedy. I don't care. Look at all the mustard seeds I got. Now what I'll do now, and I'll probably share this with you in a day, well, sometime soon. I'll cut these off at the ground real easy, and I'll do it in the morning when they are damp, because that'll keep them from shattering and me losing my mustard seeds. And what Mother used to do, right here's another bunch down here in the edge of the yard. What Mother used to do is when these things got just like this to where they'd shatter good, she'd break them off or cut them off, and she'd take them and just beat them out, shake them out where she wanted the seed to go. And she'd sow her mustard seed right then. She wouldn't even save it, wouldn't do nothing like that. And something else, if you think about it, right now, Uncle Jim, I've talked about him in the past, right now is the time to sow mustard greens. And like I said, what Mother would do, she'd just pull them up or break them off real easy, and she'd take them to wherever she wanted some greens to grow next year, and she'd just beat them out. You see them, they're so dry, them pods are coming apart. See them flaking down? See them falling down? They're just coming apart, and them mustard seeds is coming out all over everywhere. Smack them on the ground a little bit, and they'll lay right there. Get walked in, or the rain will take them in. That's what Mother would do, and sow mustard greens, and she'd have them every year. And what I was going to tell you, Uncle Jim, he would always try to sow his mustard greens the 15th of August. If you come to think about it, these mustard seed, they're right now ready to sow. They're ready on the 15th. Now you scratch you up some ground and sow you some greens right now for this fall. Right now is a good time to do it. Go ahead and sow you some greens right now. I'm gonna be doing that this coming week. If not probably won't be before, but if I get a few minutes, I'll sow a little patch before, just to have some to eat on early as we can. That's your fun fact for today. That's how you harvest and save mustard seed. Maybe some other different greens too, you can do that same way. But Uncle Jim, he used to always sow his mustard greens the 15th of August. And them seeds right there I just showed you, they're ready to sow, and they was ready on the 15th. Right now's the time to sow your fall greens, scratch you up some dirt, sow you some greens. You'll be glad you did, because you can't hardly beat a big pan of mustard greens and some cornbread, fried taters, soup beans. Gosh, I'm gonna have to hush, I'm getting hungry. This is Justro at Metcalf Mills. I sure have enjoyed this time with you today. Hit that like button if you will. Subscribe if you ain't already. Tell your friends about us. They might enjoy watching what we share. I hope you are having a good Friday. I hope you have a good Friday, and I look forward to seeing you real soon. And that video will be out hopefully in the next day or two. It may be more than one part, talking about old Jancer, about the signs when to plant, signs of the moon. You know that's in the Bible. It works and it's the truth. Don't miss it. Look forward to seeing you next time.